Mm-hmm.
So Dan Wolgamott, just a good compliant follower of the Democrats. Now, I think he got in the news somehow. Didn't he get in the news yesterday?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think he maybe got in a little bit of trouble.
A little bit of trouble. There you go. There's Legislator of the Year by the Crony Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association. Dan Wolgamott arrested for drunk driving. So let's start with this. First of all, the dude is in Kanabec County, which is northeast, basically east. Yeah, probably just east of his district. So he's probably driven 100 miles or something like that. He's in Kanabec County. I don't know what he's doing in Kanabec County. Maybe there's going to a party.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know. Okay, their office hasn't responded to anything yet. But this is last Friday night. What we do know is he's at a liquor store in Kanabec County, drinking vodka alone in his Lincoln MKX.
Just sitting in the car parked.
Yep.
That's what we know. Just Bridget, think about all the times you've been sitting in a liquor store parking lot alone drinking vodka, right?
Oh, every night.
Yeah, or never, not one time. Why would I? That's pretty damn sad. So
very
someone
sad.
observes this gentleman drinking his Lincoln MKX vodka in a parked car in the liquor store, gets in the vehicle or drives off in the vehicle eventually, and they call the cops. State trooper pulls over Mr. Dan Wolgamott, who was, quote, weaving in the lane, end quote. He ends up getting a whatever the test is at the time. I was gonna say blood urine test. That's not correct. Whatever they get administered
Field
to him.
sobriety or whatever.
Yeah. Blood alcohol.
Blood alcohol.
Like they
Sorry.
blow.
He ends up getting 0.106, and then of course 0.08 is intoxicated level. All right, so way over the intoxicated level, weaving inside the lanes, observed in the vehicle drinking vodka. Okay, so arrested under suspicion of drunk driving. Now that's, last I checked, endangering the public safety, right? I think that goes without saying. We shouldn't be getting behind vehicles and driving while drunk. Now, Dan Wolgamott received a sword. Now, here's why we're mean. If you're wondering, why are we being mean to the Minnesota Police and Peace Officers Association? I got to imagine the vast majority of the members, they say they have a lot of members, I don't know, tens of thousands. I got to imagine the average member is a good person, right? Probably a good police officer. We're obviously very pro-law enforcement around here. But they're led by just scummy political types, right? They endorse establishment hacks. They've endorsed Angie Craig, who's an anti-freedom, anti-gun left-wing congresswoman, right? In CD2. They literally
gave Paul Gazelka and then Kendall Qualls in the same day.
Endorsements.
Yeah, no, and that was basically a sign of the convention. Like, don't go for them because the establishment's lining up.
Yeah, if you don't want transgender surgeries, them going and endorsing guys like Dan Wolgamott in swing districts is part of the reason we have a problem, assuming their endorsement matters.
Mm-hmm.
But even more importantly, to get beyond that.
Well, Wolgamott, when I've been in his district before, he has signs out there. His campaign signs say police endorsed at the bottom of it. So he's going to have a tough time selling that one, this next time around if he goes for it. Who knows if he even would.
Beyond that, if you're a police organization, stay to your issues. They actually backed, and and if you go to actionforlabor.com, read this article, we link to the story. They backed those radical left-wing gun proposals, and that's why we now have universal background checks, red flag gun seizure laws in Minnesota. So it's this organization that supported it and sent a letter to legislators saying you should get on board with it, right? So MPPOA awards Dan Wolgamott their Legislator of the Year award. Go ahead and click, Dawson, on the link there. I got a hyperlink there that one right there. Now I actually did screenshot, not that one. Oh yeah, it is that one. Sorry, you're right. Okay, I was concerned they were going to take down this page. It might be taken down eventually. There's his award. Mm-hmm. Legislator, the 2023 MPPOA Legislator of the Year. This is a quote from Brian Peters, the executive director, who once, I swear this guy was on a drunken tirade against me on Facebook. Brian Peters. It's hilarious. I took screen captures of it because I put up a picture of Paul Gazelka, and I said, it's that typical picture, like this guy who's really skinny, no muscles, and going like this. and I go, I'm gonna tell my kids that was Paul Gazelka. I don't know what Gazelka just did, but some big, failure in terms of like compromising with the Democrats. And he goes, Paul Gazelka is an honorable man who served this state with dignity. What have you ever done? He said that to me. What have you ever done? I was like, listen, mofo, what are you talking about? Anyhow, it seemed like he was drunk Facebooking, which is never a good idea.
No.
Late night white clawing, right? Late night clawing is what we call it. He writes, quote, Representative Wolgamott is a true friend and supporter of law enforcement and increased public safety. He has been the chief bill author of many proposals for safer, stronger communities. End quote. Are you going to revoke that legislator? Because it sounds to me he's not really for safer communities. And I saw some traffic that maybe this is actually a second Dewey recently. This is the guy they're awarding Legislator of the Year to, right? Now, you think the story ends right there. I mean, if that's not already crazy enough, this story is far better. Because guess what else they found when they pulled over this swerving Lincoln MKX? They found no front license plate, which I didn't know this because back in Wisconsin when I used to come, I graduated ROTC at the U of M, so I went to River Falls. I'd have to come over for PT in class Monday, Wednesday, Friday at like 4:30. I'd always drive over. And I had this big old infantry crossed rifles thing because I was real proud being in the infantry. And that was my front license plate. Legal in Wisconsin, not in Minnesota. I think I got two citations for not having a front license plate in Minnesota. So
Did
he
you
doesn't
live
have
in
that.
Minnesota?
No, I lived in Wisconsin. So I drive here and I had to
They
park.
can actually, wow.
Yeah.
I got pulled over once for that, but I just told them I didn't live here.
Oh, well,
Which-
it doesn't matter according to the law because they knew I didn't. I was registered car to Wisconsin. Long story
But like,
short.
what if you're just driving through? Sorry, really quick. What if you're just driving through, like on a vacation? How do they know where you're going?
You got to follow laws of Wisconsin. Well, it's the same thing with gun
So you
laws.
got to whip out your license plate and throw it on if you're driving through another state.
You could make that same argument. I have a gun, a concealed gun, as you're driving
I
through New
think
York
that's-
City, and they'd be like, "No, you can't do
But
that."
I think that's really different.
No, it's
than
not because it's the laws of the state that you're in. Don't come into the state if you don't follow. Of course, who would
so
know that,
dumb.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but and they probably got some sympathy for you. I'm just saying that's what the law says is you'd have to. I guess you'd have to go manufacture another license plate. That'd be pretty funny, wouldn't it? Who gives a crap about that, honestly? But the better one is Mr. Wolgamott had expired tabs. Mr. Wolgamott just voted to increase the price of your tabs. You know that Democrats, they're for the common man, for the poor. Just tax the wealthy and the rich. No, they're increasing your license tab fees, and apparently they don't even all pay for those license tab fees. Wolgamott, what's your reason? Why couldn't you get? The amount of time it took you to drink in your car alone in the parking lot of a liquor store, maybe you could have gone online and got your new license tab fees. So we are raising money right now. We got a GoFundMe for Dan Wolgamott to help him pay for his license tab fees because apparently it's just too costly after the Democrats increased the price. Dan Wolgamott can't pay for it. What a crazy story. This thing dropped about 3-ish yesterday afternoon. We were on here like, yeah, we remember that guy. Dan Wolgamott, we've door knocked his voters. This guy was one of the holdouts. Well, I should say holdouts. He was always voting to increase Governor Walz's emergency powers. Never flipped, not one time. So, another con artist, Democrat. Here's my question. Can this guy continue to serve? Do you think this guy's done? Go back to the article. This is his...
I mean, there's a few of them in there already that, they got DUIs themselves. And, Bob Lunan, we all know Boozin' Bob. He never gave up. He just kept on running. So,
yeah, but does...
And Wolgamott, he's got some leadership in the House there. So, if I had to guess, I say he runs again.
Go back down, scroll down. There's his mug shot. Not very remorseful. Apparently, this is a thing when you're a politician, though. You don't, you smile and look happy because who would think that's a mug shot?
Yeah.
Or the party's extended,